And greetings, Air Acolytes, and welcome back to another exciting and informative edition of Breaking Wind, the mature look at Avatar, The Last Airbender. I am your host, Jason Roy Gaston, and with me, as always, my friend, my brother, my sister, my cousin, VHS Jase. Hello, and happy full moon to you.
Happy full moon to you too. I'm here with my little cat Scooter, who just did a big hiccup cough. So
yes.
I'm now suddenly on vomit watch.
Now, did he have a hiccup or was he bloodbended?
Oh, well, if any animal in the kingdom besides humans could do it, I'd say cats would do it for sure.
Oh, you know, cats would be the most vicious, spiteful benders possible. And of course, it is no secret at this point that we are looking at episode 8 of book 3, The Puppetmaster. And I'm just going to tell you right now, probably one of my favorite episodes. Just because it is so dark. And this is also an episode that has repercussions throughout the rest of the series. And even in Korra, there are just aftershocks of what happens here.
Look, I think I sent you a message saying my response to the idea of it. It's just it makes total sense, right? In the element scheme of what you can do. And it just amps that power up exponentially. Basically, Katara becomes extremely dangerous at this point.
Yes, because I mean, let's face it, waterbenders is like, oh, we live at the North Pole. We're so happy. Look at us. You can wet. Now it's just basically, I can crush you from the inside and turn you into a puppet against your will. It's so violent and unnatural, and even whenever she uses it against the bad guys, you just think, wow, that is a violation. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We are ahead of ourselves. Let's do our recap real quick. So we open up this episode with the gang. They are telling each other ghost stories around the campfire just in time for, well, currently it's the Christmas season. This should have been more of a Halloween episode, but we're here now, and that's what they're doing. And Katara, speaking of upping the ante, after Sokka's story completely crashes and burns, Katara tells a very terrifying story that she insists is true about her mother and a friend of her mother's who basically freezes to death. And it's I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty intense story for a cartoon show that's aimed at children. I mean, she's telling a story about a child dying in a snowstorm and the child's ghost coming back and saying that she's cold, and they're
not holding back.
No, they are setting the stage. They're telling you, okay, send the kids out of the room because we's about to go to Mature Town right now.
Yeah.
And then it is not helped that Toph, normally unshaken Toph, is shook because she says, do you hear that? It feels like there are people screaming underground. And I'm thinking, oh no, did Toph finally reach hell?
Yes. But it is a very unsettling moment.
You know Toph would have fun if there was a hell, though, because it would be like the devil would be down there. I'm going to make things really bad for people up there. And Toph would just be shaking hell like, hey, you still down there? What you doing? I hate that girl.
It takes a bit to rattle her, but she's rattled.
Oh yeah, and I honestly think that's probably what really sets the stage. It's not only the scary story, but it's also just even Toph is unsettled by this point, so you know something's off. Yeah. And that's when, of course, a nice, kind old woman who is up to absolutely nothing bad comes through the forest. This is Hama. And she says, oh, children shouldn't be out here by yourself. Don't you know that people have been disappearing in these woods? Come with me. I have an inn. Let's you can sleep in some warm beds tonight. So yeah, she's obviously just a kind old woman that has no malicious intent at all. So they go back to the inn. It's a charming little bed and breakfast, but if it's like Airbnb, it's probably got like a $500 cleaning fee. She gives them all some spiced tea, which I think I've had spiced tea before. It's actually really good. And she sends them to go to sleep. And already on edge, Sokka can't sleep until he does. I don't know.
Great cut that is. That's a funny cut in there.
Yeah, just something about him drawing his sword, trying to sleep, and saying he can't sleep, and then he's sleeping on his side. He's got like drool coming out. Classic Sokka. Pardon me, I'm a bit parched. So Hama asked them to accompany her into town, where we see Hama's got kind of a
let's go shopping.
Go shopping, yay! And I love the line about, you expect me to use my feminine wilds to get free things? I like the way you think. They are kind of building Hama up to be this kind of
and I'll say I bought in at this point. For me, the episode must be a lesson. It's an episode about her learning advanced waterbending skills. That's where my head's at this point.
I have to admit, it took me a little bit longer before they threw me off of her trail. And that part comes up later, because I was just like, the second she shows up, I mean, I'm thinking, okay, this woman's up to no good. Yep. Kind of disarms me right here.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is a story about not judging books by their cover. But no, we absolutely should have judged this book by its cover. But it does throw me off here in a little bit, and I will tell you how. The gang is walking through town, and they overhear talk of people disappearing in the woods. Aang naturally assumes that it is a spirit that has gotten really peeved, just like the panda spirit from an earlier episode. And so he decides that maybe, as the Avatar, he should do something about that. Sokka, on the other hand, is suspicious. And while Hama is out, he decides to do some snooping, much to the shock and dismay of his friends. He goes through the house looking for anything incriminating against Hama, and he comes face to face with foreshadowing. Hama likes to make puppets.
It's a bit on the nose, but I'll go with it.
On the nose, but hey, you know,
Puppetmaster.
She's the Puppetmaster. So obviously the Puppetmaster only refers to this. Sokka finds a locked room with a box on the inside, and he goes to the inside and he tries to break the box open. Toph metal bends a key, which I thought was cool.
Very cool.
Break in there. Toph could be a one-woman crime spree if she wanted to be. But as they are trying to break into this box, Hama shows up behind them and says, I'll show you what's in the box. Yeah, I'll show you what's in the box. Boom, it's a comb. Yeah, it's a comb. Is that it? Oh, it's the last thing I have from my time when I grew up at the Southern Water Tribe. She's a Southern Water Tribe person. And she tells them an absolutely sad story. Because she's also...
I love this scene just because of the way they animated it.
It really was. Oh, and I did forget...
frames that they animated in this. It was just exceptional.
Yeah, she's not only a member of the Southern Water Tribe, she's also a waterbender. And she says that she was the last waterbender from that tribe. So she does tell her story of a time that she was defending her tribe from the advancing Fire Nation 60 years ago. Which would make her, 76 maybe? 75, something like that. And basically her and the other waterbenders fight back the Fire Nation until she's the last one left. And then she just has no choice but to give up. And she's taken prisoner and she can't talk about it anymore. And Katara comforts her. And it was right here where I'm just thinking, okay, this is going to be a story about trauma. This is going to be a story about growing up in a place that you don't belong.
Consistent with the show.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, Hama's okay in my book. And that book lasted exactly 2 minutes when we saw this shot right here. And I'm just like, oh, wait, no, she's evil. Because
and I will say what makes her interesting, though, is that, and what they do with the show very consistently is everything up to that point you can totally understand.
Yes.
And it's really a story about someone who loses their mind.
Yeah.
This is a
Hashtag
mental
Hama did
health
nothing
story.
wrong.
Yeah, just a
Hama did
mental
nothing
health
wrong.
story.
I think she's got plenty of reasons to be mad, to be perfectly honest.
Kinda, yeah.
And when she pulls the water out of thin air, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then she makes claws out of them. And I'm just like, oh, that's not
One
right.
step too far.
Yeah, one step too far. But that's okay. Maybe she's just gotten a little vicious from her time in the slammer. Maybe she's okay. So we go over to Sokka and Aang and Toph, who are trying to figure out how to make contact with the spirit who's stealing people out of the woods. Toph makes a comment about, well, maybe the moon spirit's just having a bad day. Maybe the moon spirit's just bad. Oh, he doesn't have that. The moon spirit is a wonderful human being, and we love her.
Took me half a second to pick up on that, but then I loved it.
I love that too.
Yeah.
But they do run into a local who says, yeah, I don't know anything about the moon spirit, but there's this old man in the village you should go talk to. And so they're off on a side quest now. Hama and Katara are admiring a field of lilies, and basically Hama is trying to show Katara that you can get water from other places. Now, Katara has already used her sweat to waterbend and to break out of a cell, but Hama says, you know what, that's a good start, but you can go further. And at that point, Hama rips the water out of the lilies, killing them.
That's the moment I went, oh.
Yeah, oh, she's bad.
She's fully bad guy.
She's bad. Now, Katara is, of course, thinks it's a shame about what happened to the lilies, but at the same time, she's not on the Hama is bad bus yet. That is coming. Because, I mean, okay, a situation where she has to choose between her friends or some flowers, she's choosing her friends and she's ripping the water out of the flowers. I do the same thing. Yeah. So Hama ain't bad yet, but, you know, as an audience, we're just like, oh, Hama's bad. Hama's bad news. Aang and the gang meet with the old man, who is a very delightful and funny character that kind of cuts the tension as he recounts the story about how
one night, creepy though.
Oh, very creepy. But he had a heck of a personality.
Yeah, he was great.
As he recounts the night that he loses control of his body and marches towards this cave, but then the sun comes up and he's free and he runs back, and that's when Toph makes the connection. Oh no, I heard people screaming underground. I bet that's coming from that cave. They run to the cave. I really liked the fact that they don't forget Toph is a very powerful earthbender. I can't see what's down there. Well, that's what you got me for. And she just grabs them and goes. Marches them to a place that's got light anyway, which I was like, okay. And inside are prisoners. And I didn't know the moon spirit took prisoners like this. And they say, oh, no, it wasn't the moon spirit. It was a witch. A witch. It's Hama. It's Hama. So Hama is going to teach Katara a new strategy. And she tells another sad story of a time that she was held captive by the Earth Kingdom. And as she was in a cell, being bathed by the light of the full moon, her powers at their absolute peak, but unable to waterbend because she had no water around her, she realized that water was life. And all things with life has water. And things with life that also have water are people. And so she uses her waterbending to control the water inside of people and basically turns the guard's own body against them.
Yeah.
She has perfected the art of
she's also at that point checked out. She's gone.
You know, there's a possibility she's still just a kind old lady, right?
I don't know.
Katara is, of course, horrified by this, and they get into a quick battle. The animation here between these two is fantastic. It fits the tone so perfectly because there is so much shadow and light play here, and Hama really looks dangerous. You don't even like looking at her because she just goes into all these aggressive stances, and then she bloodbends Katara, holding her in place. And it is basically, like I said, it's a violation. You're watching somebody
100%.
be violated. And that's when Katara feels the power of the full moon. One of my favorite shots in the episode right here is basically, you have hurt me, and now I'm going to hurt you back. It's that scene in Deadpool where Wolverine just reams Deadpool and just says, all these horrible things about him. And then Deadpool just goes, I'm going to fight you now. This is it. I'm going to fight you now. And Hama and Katara have an absolutely epic fight. Oh, there's the bloodbending scene. Sorry, I got these out of order. They have this absolutely epic fight. Again, the light and the composition of these shots are just outstanding. I mean, that is pure evil right there.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, coupled with Katara, who is just, she's doing really well. Katara is a waterbending master, and the old woman has basically just been like puppeteering people. She hasn't really been in a combat situation, so it's fully believable that a young waterbending master
you're an equal match in a way.
Yeah. And there's absolutely nothing that can go wrong at this point. It's okay, Katara. We are here to help you. Yay! Oh no, what's going on?
I love in one moment with Aang where she I think freezes him on a tree. Sorry, Aang. It's okay.
Yeah, it's
great. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
It was just the perfect thing to cut the tension right there. It was just Aang's little, this feels weird. But Hama does not play fair. And if she can't beat Katara, she's going to hurt Katara. And she makes Sokka pull his sword. And Aang and Sokka start flying towards each other. And that is when suddenly they stop. And they're like, what happened? The bloodbending's not working anymore. And Katara had no choice but to bloodbend Hama to make her stop.
Yeah. This
is basically the whole kill me and you become like me and I'm not going to give you a choice.
Yeah,
she didn't have a choice.
Mate.
Of course the picture didn't upload, but there's this great shot of Katara in that stance and she's just got this look on her face like, I had to do it. I had to do it. There was nothing else I could have done.
And landed perfectly in Hama's lap.
Yes. Yeah.
It was brilliant.
It really was.
She didn't lose. She still got what she needed out of Katara.
Hama wins, and that is no more evident than when Hama is being taken away and she turns around and says, congratulations, you're a bloodbender. And poor Katara is just left sobbing because she's become the person who makes victims now. She has become the oppressor, and it's what she did not want.
No, what a terrible ability to have, because here's the problem. You are going to be so tempted to end dangerous situations now because you've got the power to control anybody at any point. You're going to have to fight against that instinct to do it.
Yes.
It's a rough power to have.
And as I said, not only is this just a masterful episode, a scary episode, a tense episode, a beautiful and horrifying episode, but this is an episode that has dropped an atom bomb, the ripples of which continue all the way into the spin-off series.
Wow. It feels like a leveling up.
It really is. This is the waterbending equivalent of lightning bending. This is our spirit bending or metal bending. This is the next level up. And I just think it's funny that the in my opinion, not counting the air nomads because they're dead now, but the most peaceful current waterbending society has the most horrifying next level up. And bloodbending. It's just it's wrong. Everything about it is wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. And for her to have that power.
Yeah, Katara, probably the most. She's flawed, but she's, aside from Aang, probably the most pure one who would not hurt anybody unnecessarily.
To have the power.
Yeah, she has the power to basically turn people into meat puppets.
Yeah,
and the implications are terrifying. It just sticks with you at the end.
They are.
And the fact that Hama won, Hama got what she wanted.
Yeah.
she's passed on this terrible ability to other people.
That's a curse for Katara now.
It
Isn't
is, yes. But I
Very
honestly, I can't wait to see your reaction to whenever this theme resurfaces later in the Avatar continuum, because it is quite good.
You know, at this point, after I saw the episode, I'm at this point, I'm going, of course they've made it even better and even cooler. Of course they've added a complexity to this that was so obvious, yet I had no idea or thought that it would be coming down the pipeline. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. Yep. Love the show. 8 more episodes to go, I believe.
Yeah, we are officially at the halfway point. And as I said, season 3 does not miss. Every single episode is a banger.
What's the next one?
The next episode is oh my gosh, it is also a dark one. You give me a second and I will find that out for you.
Yeah, I did have
but it was the runaway. Actually about to go into a give me 1 second. I wasn't expecting this. You completely threw me off. Nightmares and daydreams. So another feel-good family adventure. But I do believe that if this is the episode I'm thinking of, it has one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen. Basically, something that we've wanted to see since the beginning of the series that you didn't know you wanted to see is in this episode. And then after that, there's a 2-part episode called The Day of Black Sun.
Because this is the business end of the series.
This is the business end of the series. Yes. And this is a series that sticks the landing also. So I
would be shocked if sad. It didn't.
I will be sad when it's over, but watching you experience this show is just so much fun.
Imagine that though, that you set me out like it had the worst ending ever of a show. And so you've gone on this 1.5-year journey to make me watch a show knowing that at the end of it, it was absolutely horrible. Yeah. It would be the biggest prank ever.
I shouldn't tell you about how the whole thing is just Riker and Troy watching it on the holodeck.
That's all a dream.
You're right, Deanna. I should talk to Captain Picard about his halitosis.
It's like Game of Thrones season 8. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, that was great. That was great. Great quality. You know what? I will say this though, and when I was watching the episode the other day, I have a lot of fear around how they can pull some of this stuff off live action.
Me too.
I do, because there's some depth in this show, some nuance that I just don't think they're going to be able to capture.
I really think, I hope that they listen to the feedback. I really do. I hope they were listening and they don't let their own egos get in the way and just think, okay, yeah, we can do this better. They're right that we could do this better. And because I want the show to be good. I really do. I want the live action Airbender to be good. It's just, I'm like you, I'm worried now because that first season was very concerning. It wasn't awful, but it is concerning because I just feel like it's like live action Beauty and the Beast compared to the original. It's not terrible, but it's like a bad Community theater production.
Well, I don't think the season had any more than, was it 10 episodes or 9 episodes? It definitely needs to be 13. And they definitely,
I agree.
Yeah, and they definitely do. It kind of, these episodes, those scripts should be the Bible. Okay, we're doing this episode. Because really, if there's how many episodes? There's 18 episodes a season. You could do 9 eps, but you have to do the episodes back, like 2 episodes. 2 animated episodes per live action episode, and you could make it work if you stuck to it. Yeah. Sure, you might have to make some minor trims and edits and changes, but this film is written so cinematically that I don't know how much you really need to change. Like, I'm sure at the time they're writing things, you could never do this live action. Well, you could do it now.
Now, I am going to defend the live action series because they have made some choices that I think do benefit the story. Number one, introducing Azula in the first season, I think was good. Number 2, taking away the ticking clock. the whole thing about you have to learn how to master the elements by this spring. Taking away that ticking clock is really going to help the series in that whenever we see these characters again, they're going to be years older. And it's not going to be, wow, it's been a long week. Yeah, Aang, it's been a long week. You put on a full foot, and now you have chest hair. What's going on?
Well, there's an argument to be made. If you spread it out over many years, it becomes more of a sprawling epic, doesn't it?
Yes.
Rather than, my life, my a year in a life of the Avatar.
Yeah, and I also think that the idea that Aang stays at the Northern Water Temple and learns bending over a course of years instead of just a few days is more realistic.
Even if it's a year, you pick it up a year later, you spent a whole year there.
And Katara, I always thought that she kind of sped run her training as well. I think it's more realistic for her. God, I really hope that they do better with Katara in season 2. Really, really hope so.
I tell you what, they will have to extract out, and the most obvious change that we would both agree would happen is to highly condense the upper storyline or remove it.
Remove it. We don't need it.
Yeah. Was that highly condensed? It happened.
It was
all
a
in
mistake.
one episode.
Yeah. Where's Appa? Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Done. Move on. Next scene. But yeah, that would be the only thing I could think of that could really benefit being excised out. Or like I said, highly condensed.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We
will find out next year. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see here, and honestly, why would you not? Please consider becoming a patron on our Patreon by visiting the video description below and pledging $5 a month or more if you're feeling saucy. Or you can become a channel member by visiting our channel's main page. And of course, we'd be happy to see you because you get videos early if you're a channel member because you are just that special.
Exclusive.
VIP, very important Patreons. So be sure to join us next time as we take a look at the episode about nightmares and dreams. Nightmares and dreams. There we go. We're going to talk about that one. And thank you for joining us on Breaking Wind, a Last Airbender podcast. I really like this show.